Yeah, this guy has been in a lot of fights. Look how tore up the top of him is. Got him on a 6-inch worm, Wacky rigged. I'll show you how I set this up. It's kind of a different setup, but you just kind of watch him just sort of take off with it, and it's a pretty fun way to fish. Hey everybody, it's Dalton. I want to go over this this technique that I use. It's a Wacky rig technique, but it works really well for me. I pour these worms right here. These are 6-inch worms. Now, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but one of the most popular colors for spotted bass, whether it be Lake Lanier, which I believe is in Georgia, a number of lakes in California that have them throughout the country, is Morning Dawn. Morning Dawn, for some reason, is a spotted bass color. So what I do, and I kind of have a way of setting this up that works really well for me. Now, a lot of people will use a jig head for this. I guess it's very similar to what is called a flick shake. But what I do is I take a bobber stopper and I put it on the line, and then I take a 1/16 ounce little tungsten bullet weight, and then right here, tied with a Palomar knot, is a 1/0 Gamakatsu drop shot hook. So what I wind up doing is I put all this together just like this, okay? Now again, you can use a small jig head for this, but I find this works a little bit better for me. They cannot stand to have that bait in front of them like that. Worm, and I fold this worm about right there. I've kind of figured out where to place the hook because the head's heavier than the tail. I want this thing to drop as evenly as possible. And this is all I do right here. It's a very, very simple technique. Now, the reason I use the bobber stopper is there are times that I want the bait to fall slower. So what happens is if I take this bobber stopper and or stopper and I slide it up a few feet or a few inches, you can tell what happens. That weight's going to hit the bottom first, and this worm is going to slowly fall behind it. A lot of times I'll pick up a couple of extra bites like that. All I do is throw this thing out and let it fall all the way to the bottom. I'll fish it up to 20 foot of water. And when this thing falls, the thing I like about it is it shimmies. It has a real subtle shimmy as it goes down, and it literally makes that worm shimmy on the way down. It just shakes as it goes down. So the worm is already giving you action as the bait is falling. And then once it falls, I will let it sit there for about 5 seconds. You're going to get bit one of two ways typically on this type of a setup. One, you're going to watch your line. I like to use high-vis line. I use Suffix 832. It's a lime color. I'm watching that braided line. I use about a 12-foot, 6-pound test fluorocarbon leader. And I watch it fall, and a lot of times it'll hit the bottom, and that line will just start stretching out. It just starts taking off. All I do is just reel set them. It's an easy hook set. If that doesn't happen, I leave it set there for 5, 6, 7, 8 seconds. Slowly start reeling. A lot of times he's already got it in his mouth, and all you do again is just reel set him. It's a very simple hook set. This worm has an enormous amount of buoyancy, and I like using some of these thinner worms for Wacky rigging. I mean, everybody's using stick baits. It's always nice to throw something a little bit different at them, and this is a fun technique to catch them with. Well, I appreciate you guys. Thank you for tuning in. If you haven't subscribed, I'd thank you if you would. I'm going to get my wife out here in a few days and try to catch some more fish. Talk to you next time.